Hello everyone, and welcome to my The Bold Fans channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful. Are Hope and Liam expecting a second child? According to teasers on The Bold and the Beautiful, Hope Logan and Liam Spencer are happier than ever following their recent nuptials. Is it time for them to expand their family? Carter Walton and Daphne Rose are engaged and discussing having children, and we have a suspicion that Lope may be affected by their enthusiasm. Is Lope prepared to expand their family? Fans will witness Carter and Daphne getting busy with wedding preparations in the upcoming weeks, as they prepare to settle down and have children. We are aware that when these two energetic young people get married this year, the baby discussion will blow up. Carter and Daphne get married and start a family? Spoilers also hint that Carter and Daphne will gleefully tell everyone about their bright future. Hope, for her part, is pleased for Carter even though their own union did not work out. Carter was aware that Liam had Hope's heart, and now the ex-partners are having an incredibly joyful adventure with the people they were destined to be with. Will Liam and Hope conclude it is the best course of action for them as well if they witness Daphne and Carter having a great time preparing for a baby? We know that Hope and Liam's daughter, Beth Spencer, will be thrilled if they consider having another child. It makes natural that having a younger brother or sister would be the cherry on top for her since she was the one who wedded her parents after making every effort to bring them back together. Douglas Forrester lives in Paris with his father, Thomas Forrester, although Hope is a co-parent. What takes place in Los Angeles next? Kelly Spencer and Steffi Forrester Finnegan are Liam's co-parents, but we believe that another branch of the family tree is the ideal objective for 2026. Stay tuned for any updates on the Storks' visits, as spoilers for Red Hot, The Bold, and The Beautiful suggest that small feet may be heard in the upcoming months. Spoilers for B&B. Sheila wants to spend more time with Finn in person in return for not going off on Taylor? According to teasers on The Bold and the Beautiful, John Finn Finnegan might intervene to stop his biological mother Sheila Sharp from mistreating humanitarian Taylor Hayes. Steffi Forrester Finnegan, Finn's wife, felt uncomfortable seeing her mother, therapist Taylor, and patient Deacon Sharp so close. Is this an indication that deranged Sheila will soon make an appearance? Will Sheila lose her mind? Sheila is boisterous and pleased that Taylor was able to keep her marriage to Deacon intact. However, Steffi is aware that a complicated dynamic is at work. Steffi is the one who is most aware of Sheila's potential for insanity. For this reason, she worries for Taylor, who has also been harmed by Sheila. Is Sheila prepared to attack Taylor? We expect Sheila to lose it in spectacular manner when Taylor and Deacon's passionate affair comes to light. Can someone step in and prevent Sheila from going on a rampage? Steffi will beg Finn to level off Sheila if she believes he can. You can guarantee Finn would go up to Sheila and warn her that jail stripes are just a step away. Finn could have a smooth conversation with Sheila, but Sheila is astute, and if she believes she can take advantage of this, she will, perhaps by asking Finn for a favor in exchange for not breaking the law against his MIL. For instance, it's quite possible that Sheila would insist on spending more time with Finn in order to distance herself from Tay-Tay. Would Finn go behind Steffi's back and make accommodations for his biological mother if this were the case? Will Finn give in to Sheila's trickery? There are many wonderful ways that this plot could develop. Love, betrayal, retaliation. All the elements of a soap opera. Sheila will also face a significant challenge in limiting herself to non-violent coping mechanisms if Taylor does misbehave and Sheila finds out. That seems like something that a skilled therapist could assist Sheila with. Red Hot and Juicelicious spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful suggest that Sheila must choose between rampaging and being respectful and law-abiding. Which choice do you think she will make? RJ Forrester from Bold and the Beautiful. Everything you should know about Ridge and Brooke's son. The developing Forrester-Spencer fashion battle may be significantly influenced by RJ's history. Fans of The Bold and the Beautiful had been waiting a year for RJ Forrester to return, and now their dream was granted. Joshua Hoffman is no longer portraying Ridge's namesake, though. The position has been filled by Brian Nicoletti. At the family business, the influencer-turned-fashion designer has missed a lot. However, considering the ongoing conflict between the Spencers and the Forresters, his prior experience on the soap opera may be relevant. Let us explain the essential information. Important takeaways: RJ's convoluted family tree, his time at Forrester Creations, how the Forrester heir's romantic life might affect the plot. The Forrester always caught in the middle. RJ is both a Logan and a Forrester because he is the son of Ridge and Brooke. He had made it a point to avoid becoming involved in his parents' affairs when he first came home in 2023. As Ridge's only child who isn't Taylor's, he is content with Brooke being his father's destiny, in contrast to his siblings Thomas and Steffi. Because of Ridge's conflicting feelings for his children's mothers, RJ frequently disagrees with what his older siblings desire. He dislikes it, but his parents aren't the only ones that put him in a difficult situation. Both his brother Thomas and sister Hope follow suit. The ex-couple has RJ as a sibling even though they are not blood relatives. Because of this, the family dynamic may be difficult at times and awkward at others, particularly when Thope is on the outs. RJ's competitor on the soap opera throughout Hoffman's tenure as the role was his cousin Zend. Even though the two have already put their differences behind them, there were numerous verbal altercations between them during the plot when their grandfather, Eric, was in danger of dying. RJ and Eric had been collaborating closely on the Forrester Patriarch's Legacy collection during this period. He fell madly in love with Luna Nozawa as well. Zend was more at odds with RJ because he also harbored affections for Luna. In an unintentional drugging scheme that was rewritten after Luna transformed from a good girl to a villain, he had even slept with her. Since he hasn't shown on screen, it's presumed that RJ and his family are at peace, but now that he's returned, it won't last long. Another Forrester designer joins the story. RJ was working on the Hope for the Future line when viewers last heard of him. He must have abandoned his responsibilities at some time though, because Zend invited Thomas to work with him on the brand. We will witness RJ working alongside his father when he returns to the FC hallways. Zend has been dividing his time between Couture and HFTF. Because RJ is present, he can concentrate only on Hope's line. For the Forrester family, this is a time when everyone is on deck. Even if Brooke and Ridge have made fun of Logan, it's obvious that Katie's fashion firm is already a pain in the ass just by virtue of its existence. The Forresters will need their own young designer to liven things up, as her interest in Deke is likely to result in a post for him at her brand. RJ can help with that. All's fair in love and business. Speaking about RJ's Aunt Katie, the animosity between the Spencers and Forresters isn't only about style. It also has to do with previous betrayals. Katie was devastated when his Uncle Bill and Mother Brooke were married. Bill gave RJ a sword necklace to symbolize his intention to be an active stepfather in his life, even if their relationship was primarily off-screen. Even though it isn't mentioned on screen, it is a part of their past. The same is true for RJ and Will, who were once stepbrothers in addition to being cousins. However, supporters shouldn't assume that they will get along. Hoffman and Morrow's one and only scene together gave us a glimpse of their interaction. It was hostile mostly on Will's end. This new version of RJ will have the same tension. Bradley Bell, head writer and EP, revealed that the two will compete. That usually refers to both their romantic and professional lives. RJ's love life on BNB. The young Forrester has only experienced two significant romantic relationships. Coco Spencer, who oversaw the Forrester summer internship program as a teenager, and Luna, who worked as an intern for the company. Only one of these women, nevertheless, deceived him. Coco unintentionally spied on the Forresters and gave the Spectras their sketches as part of a scheme orchestrated by her family. Sally, her sister, was arrested as a result of the plot. Since Coco and Sally relocated to New York, we haven't heard anything about her activities. Luna, on the other hand, completely changed the lives of the Spencers and the Forresters. In order to avoid facing the consequences of cheating on RJ, she not only deceived Zend into believing that he had unintentionally attacked her, but she also killed two innocent men and abducted Steffi in an attempt to kill her by demolishing a building. Following a brief period of incarceration and a near-death experience, she assaulted Will, which led to her becoming pregnant. Although she passed away as a result of Dylan unintentionally striking her with her car when Luna was attempting to avoid the police, her legacy endures. RJ and Will have a connection outside of their families through Luna, and this will probably be discussed. However, being duped by her won't make them more intimate. It could be another fragment of the past that lies like a jagged sword between them. It's unclear exactly what would set RJ and Wood against each other in the new Forrester-Spencer rivalry, but it's probably the ongoing conflict between their parents. Although the two are employed in different departments inside the company, we may discover that Will shares his father's perspective on design. Ridge has always been insulted by Bill's use of the word dressmaker. He also has little regard for the Forresters and their company, with the exception of Steffi. Will's role at FC has never been specified, but it's likely that he works in marketing, thus if he moves to Logan, he will assist with brand promotion. He and RJ might have a disagreement there. RJ is an influencer in addition to a designer, so he understands how to sell to younger consumers. As the Forresters compete with Katie's company, which is already being hailed as new and the opposite of the old guard, this could be useful. We'll have to wait and watch if RJ and will wind up in a romantic triangle with a young woman caught between them since they are at odds over romance. Elektra and RJ appear to be attracted to each other despite being cousins. However, because Dylan will be staying for a while, it's possible that she is his love interest. She currently resides in Will's guest apartment and is homeless, which makes it ideal for an overly protective Will to be at odds with RJ over a developing romance unrelated to him. The Bold and the Beautiful Monday, January 19th update. Eric responds to Brooke. According to Monday, January 19th spoilers on The Bold and the Beautiful, Eric Forrester will have to respond to Brooke Logan Forrester, while RJ Forrester is taken aback by Elektra Forrester's boyfriend revelation. Brooke will first wait to find out why Eric is seeing Katie Logan Spencer. Brooke is curious about what's going on since Eric interrupted Katie and Brooke's conversation. When B&B ended, Brooke clearly had a skeptical expression on her face. Even though Katie recently acknowledged that she hired a new designer, Brooke might not immediately think of Eric. Eric may give a different explanation for his appearance, since he would prefer to share his great news with Brooke and Rich Forrester when he is ready. Eric may test the waters and pretend that he is currently assisting Katie by providing some consulting work on the launch, as was his initial plan. Eric might be reluctant to admit that he has truly agreed to be Katie's lead designer if Brooke completely freaks out over that notion. Katie might agree with Eric to stay quiet for the time being, but Donna Logan Forrester will eventually show up and press Katie to reveal the truth. If Brooke storms out, Katie would question Eric's motivation for inciting such animosity. Eric will stick to his conviction and make it plain that he will impart a valuable lesson in regard to both Ridge and Brooke. He'll receive updates on something unexpected and disappointing over with RJ. When RJ discovers that Elektra has a boyfriend, he will be disappointed and appear surprised to discover it's Will Spencer. B&B will allow the long-running conflict between Ridge and Bill Spencer to spread to a younger generation. When Will eventually discovers that RJ has a thing on Elektra, fans can anticipate that RJ and Will turn into bitter rivals. According to the looks Elektra has been giving RJ, that crush seems to be reciprocated, thus there may be problems in her romance with Will. For the time being, Will be more concerned about the security of his position at Forrester Creations. Watch for Will to inquire about Ridge's position inside the company, and whether his function will be impacted by Katie's fashion house drama. According to teasers on The Bold and the Beautiful, Ridge might reassure Will, but he might eventually work for Logan or Spencer Publications. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful show that sometimes a quiet comeback may have the biggest impact, and RJ Forrester's unexpected return achieves just that. RJ sneaks back inside Forrester Creations without any fanfare, without warning, and without anybody noticing until it's too late. This moment wonderfully portrays the precarious mix of love, legacy, and rivalry that is currently pulling the Forrester and Logan families apart. What starts out as a covert stroll through well-known halls swiftly escalates into an emotional reckoning for Ridge Forrester and Brooke Logan, as well as the future of Forrester Creations as a whole. Across town, Katie Logan Spencer pulls Eric Forrester out of retirement and into direct conflict with his own son, a move that has the potential to profoundly alter Los Angeles' fashion scene. This episode redraws the battlefield in addition to advancing the plot. The episode begins with a clear sense of anticipation as RJ Forrester returns and walks straight into trouble. The camera tracks an invisible person as they silently move through Forrester Creations hallways. No conversation. No musical cue. Just curiosity and footsteps. The mystery is short-lived. Two interns in the design office freeze, then start whispering excitedly. That's all it takes. He's back. RJ Forrester is back in Los Angeles. Unexpected. Unprepared. and completely oblivious to what he is going to enter. Rather than regaining territory, RJ travels through the building like someone revisiting a memory. The main office is unoccupied when he stops by. Not a Ridge. No Brooke. No Steffi. Carter, no. The fashion empire's power center is disturbingly quiet. After that, RJ acts like any inquisitive Forrester would. He opens the door to the showroom and regrets the timing right away. Brooke and Ridge caught red-handed by their son inside the showroom. Ridge Forrester and Brooke Logan are caught in a private, unguarded, and clearly passionate encounter. They're not discussing business. They're not fighting. They are completely engrossed in each other while kissing, believing they are by themselves. They're not. RJ clears his throat. The response happens right away. Startled, ashamed, and totally unprepared, Brooke and Ridge jump apart. Brooke's expression is a mix of relief and horror. Ridge appears to be a youngster who was caught breaking curfew. What about RJ? RJ appears to be amused. Laughter, hugs, and an unexpected emotional rush swiftly replace the tension. Rushing to her son, Brooke gives him an embrace that conveys all she hasn't been able to say since he left. Ridge follows, equally excited and relieved. RJ is at home. One question for Brooke. Will he stay? After the first shock subsides, Brooke quickly addresses the question that has been bothering her. Will RJ remain? She doesn't make demands. She doesn't exert any pressure. But there's no denying the hope. Brooke wants her son's return. Forever. RJ, ever the free spirit, charmingly avoids the expectation. He makes light of the fact that he has never been a fan of long-term plans. He doesn't have any major travel plans. There are no scheduled urgent flights. Right now, nothing is drawing him away. Is that sufficient? It certainly is for Brooke. She will accept everything she can. Why RJ actually returned as the three of them start talking. RJ shares the reason for his return, which has nothing to do with style. He returned to check on them. In particular, to see firsthand the reunion of Brooke and Ridge. RJ acknowledges that he had to find out if the reconnection was genuine. Whether the joy he had heard about was real or merely a new development in the never-ending Bridge story. Without hesitation, Brooke and Ridge reassure him. They are content. They are sturdy. They are dedicated. For the time being. Naturally, there is a lot of subtext because happy is always fleeting in this household. As RJ considers his travels, his father's heroics discussion turns to RJ's time spent overseas. Brooke makes a playful remark about how many ladies he must have encountered while traveling. Laughing it off, RJ acknowledges that Italy was very fun, but he doesn't go into specifics. Then RJ mentions something that the family is still thinking about. Ridge rescues Brooke from the sea. The tragic boat accident, in which Ridge risked everything to save the lady he loves, is briefly brought up in the conversation. RJ is truly grateful to his father. It's a silent but impactful moment. One that demonstrates why Ridge and Brooke always manage to reunite in spite of everything. Across town, Katie Logan faces her biggest leap yet as the Forresters enjoy their reunion. Katie Logan Spencer must make the most important choice of her professional life. Katie is still having trouble comprehending what Eric Forrester just promised her at Logan, her new fashion brand. He desires entry, not as a consultant, not as a visitor, as her primary designer. Nevertheless, Eric jokes about sharing the runway with her while laughing at her incredulity. Beneath the humor, however, is something more profound. Purpose, hunger, and unresolved issues. Katie is both excited and afraid. Is this a declaration of war, Katie fears? Katie expresses her worry right away. What is Brooke going to think? What is Ridge going to think? Will it appear that she took Eric from Forrester Creations? That is immediately shut down by Eric. He is no longer employed there. He made the decision to retire, and now he is picking Logan. He needs this more than anything else. Retirement has exhausted Eric. He acknowledges that what keeps him alive is the thrill of creating something new from the ground up. His identity is fashion, not just his profession. Eric then poses the actual query. Is Katie interested in doing this? She responds right away. Indeed. They give each other a hug, and Logan officially turns into a menace. With emotion in his voice, Eric Forrester declares that he is officially out of retirement. He aspires to be Logan's principal designer. Katie is having a hard time controlling herself. She feels so relieved, She is aware of the recent surge in her company's performance. Eric doesn't sugarcoat the truth, though. This is going to be stressful. This is going to be really intense. Backlash will result from this. Katie enthusiastically takes it all in, because she is no longer alone. When Eric announces that he is officially out of retirement, Los Angeles will be rocked. The political repercussions are serious. Katie makes an effort to be practical. She does not want this to be perceived as a conflict between Logan and Forrester. Eric has faith that Ridge will eventually move past it. Logan needs a designer, since Eric is no longer employed at Forrester. It's easy, but Katie is aware of this. Ridge and Brooke will definitely object. That objection won't be silent either. Back at Forrester, RJ is dragged toward the future. Brooke and Ridge swiftly go from reunion mode to opportunity mode at Forrester Creations. They want RJ to participate. Creating. Making. Ridge proposes that RJ collaborate with him on couture. RJ pauses. He wants to avoid stepping on any toes. He does not wish to incite conflict, but he finds the concept intriguing. He acknowledges that it might be fantastic. He'll think about it. The notion that strikes the hardest is then expressed by RJ. He longs for Eric's presence. He finds it unbelievable that his granddad is retired. Ridge and Brooke rewrite history. Reluctantly, Ridge acknowledges that he wasn't the only one who suggested retirement. Brooke swiftly clarifies that Eric had the option to return but decided against it. Now is Ridge's moment.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.